Alright, it seems like it's being connected now. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so this looks like it is. YouTube is connected. Okay, everything seems like it's connected. Awesome. Okay, so what we're gonna do while we are waiting, we're gonna listen to
Magic Spoon cereal is packed with protein and tastes like my favorite child.
All right, today's podcast, I didn't even want to post.
Oh god. Okay. So, before we start, ladies and gents, I do not own the rights to this podcast. All I'm doing is playing a game, listening to a podcast, and pretty much reacting to it while I'm playing a game. Shouts out to Ryan Pinda.
Because I thought I was bringing Graham Stephan in to give me some good advice on YouTube, and he absolutely roasted this channel and our low viewership and everything about it. And I'm gonna post it anyway because I think it could benefit everyone else who's listening. On top of that, we also went in depth on all these different content creators. We talked about Trump. We talked about business, life, him married. He was even roasting his own guest recently on the Iced Coffee Hour. So it's gonna be an enjoyable episode for you guys. Let's hop into it. Now, what do you think would be most interesting about you though, that you think viewers?
Nothing. I don't make a good guest for a podcast. I'm being
my best.
I'm being because I'm talking to you, but people don't care about me. I'm gonna be 100% like I'm not.
You care.
Yeah,
People care how you're doing.
Yeah.
They don't because there's nothing new I could share on this. You could get me to react to other things, and I'll do great. But I tell you, if you ask about me, no one is gonna care. It's gonna be boring.
Google.
And include this in there.
Yeah.
Like I'll give
Hey,
you a good
Siri.
podcast, but I don't want it to underperform.
Set
'cause I
alarm
know
for 42
The
minutes.
main thing.
Yeah.
Graham's whole thing is like, this needs to be a 1 of 10, dude. We do it.
I'm not asking for. I want it like a 4.
This will be a 8 of 10 if you make it about me.
Yeah, it really will. Like what Graham Stephan's doing, no one cares.
What about you selling everything?
No one cares. No one cares. Yes, because there's nothing else to talk about. You know, man. I'm out of things to talk about, so it's like I'm gonna keep saying that.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing new. Like, but I'm selling
Talking
everything.
with the most boring man on earth. Let's see what he's got going on.
You know what's so funny? You asked like, what's new? I'm like, There's nothing new. I'm home all day. I'm just like trying to figure out video topics. You could ask me the same thing like 2 years ago. It's the same. It's the same. There's nothing new. There's nothing.
Bro,
All right.
My gosh. We don't know what we're going to talk about. So
Yeah.
your first, what are we going to title thumbnail? I don't know. We're going to film the
he's
whole thing.
roasting you, dude.
See what's interesting.
This is why Graham has 5 million subscribers.
Yeah.
I'm feisty today.
Bro,
and I have my
help us with
coffee.
this podcast. How do we get up to iced coffee hour numbers? How do we do it?
I think you got to have better guests.
Okay.
Damn.
You got to have like newer,
True.
fresher content.
Okay.
And it, like I noticed that you have like repeating guests on.
Yep.
The thumbnails are not the
same.
best.
Okay.
Titles aren't really,
Let's
like,
let
great.
me break down the thumbnails. Please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Look
did that for me. It was so funny.
Let's do this, man.
Okay. So we need better guests. We need better
Yeah.
titles and thumbnails.
Yeah.
Okay.
Better guess.
Okay.
Okay, but like, how many times should we post a week?
Once a week.
Oh,
Yeah, you're posting like okay, maybe twice a week. So
Okay.
I'll tell you your problem. You have a weird, like really weird branding on your channel because it's like it's you, but then it's not you because you're also doing like podcasts.
Yeah.
And so like as a viewer, I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
And like it's strange because you have this video AI is already replacing you. Here's how to get ahead of it.
Yep.
It sounds like an AI title. It sounds like that's like a ChatGPT sort of like someone put in a whole bunch of, and ChatGPT's like, oh, just put this there. But you have this weird video here mixed in with ex mob boss, but that's a clip, then mixed in with the ultimate sales masterclass tricks you could use. Like it's the same, like just bad titles. The thumbnails could be improved. They're not awful.
Yeah. Okay. All
They're
right.
not awful.
There we go.
You're also, but what you're doing is filming and so much content, and then you're just throwing everything at the wall.
Yeah.
And like maybe one sticks, but there's no stress. It's just like let's just loop everything together and just start throwing everything. So I think you need to be really curated about what you're doing.
Okay.
Like every podcast that we film is so well thought out, and even after we film it, we'll look through it and say maybe this isn't that good, and then we just don't post it.
Really? How many do you
Yeah.
not post?
It's rare because we have debates all the time of like who we're gonna have on the podcast, and we disagree. Sometimes I'm like, no, let's get this guest, and Jack's like, no, I don't think it's gonna do well, and vice versa. So for all of us to come to an agreement on a guest is pretty significant, and then we'll do a lot of research on who the guest is. We turn down probably 90% of requests that we get to come on the podcast,
Dang.
so that when we film, like the amount of time we put in behind the scenes is so significant. Like Jack and I will probably spend separately maybe 8 to 10 hours each, and then we come together and spend another few hours on the outline. So by
Each
the
with one episode.
yeah,
Okay.
so one guest, 10, we'll call it 8 hours of research each, and usually that is me on a treadmill listening to podcasts, everything they've ever filmed, and then I'll write down questions to make sure
so
they
you're
don't.
listening to the guest on other shows,
Yeah.
and then just because Jack, you guys will be like, okay, maybe we'll interview this guy,
Yeah,
and then you're gonna be like, let's go do some due diligence.
correct.
Okay.
And then I come out with questions, Jack comes out with questions, and then we meet together and we compare our questions because we don't want to be influenced by the other person.
Yeah.
And then we'll go through together and figure out like, okay, what's the best hook? What's the best structure? And then sometimes we film it and just, it doesn't turn out good.
Yeah.
As much planning as we do. And we're just like, we're going to post something bad. And then all of a sudden it's going to impact performance. Like we have done this before where we've been on like a tear and every episode is like 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10. And then we're like, oh, this episode is okay. And we post it. It's a 10. And then all of a sudden our next video
Yeah.
is a 10. And our next video is like a 9. And we're like, okay, what did we just lose from posting that video?
Yeah.
We lost way more than we gained by posting one
Even if the
negative
next
video.
ones were bangers, you think that
They
they
don't-
lost some momentum.
Correct.
Yeah.
They never perform as well. And so like you have to play into the algorithm because if it's a business, you have to do what's in the best interest of just gaining viewership. And so that's like, you got to do really good episodes. So for me, it seems like you're indiscriminate on who's coming on your show and who's talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
We do the
worries me.
exact opposite of what
Yeah.
you just said.
Yeah.
So basically,
We gotta change
I
it.
show up, Brian shows up,
Wow.
and there's a person there, and we find out.
We rip.
Okay, but that's reflected in your views. That's
Yeah.
why you get 736 views. That's not worth your time.
Yeah.
You film for an hour and a half, and I guarantee you put slightly, let's say even 2 hours into this episode. Your time is worth so much more than that. And like even if you're advertising on the back end or whatever, like you would be better off just spending time with your family and saying like, I'm just better off not working.
Yeah.
I'm better
That's
off
good.
going out to lunch. Really, when you think about your time.
You're better off just spitting on the ground and calling it a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sit on the toilet for 2 hours would make you more money than this. So to me, this is a ginormous waste of time.
Websites your competitors don't want you to know. Part 2.
All you do is go to this website, and it lets you find out exactly how much your competitors are making.
Unless you really take it seriously and dedicate like a lot of effort to this.
Yeah.
So you think two podcasts a week?
Personally, I say one.
He thinks one.
We do, so what we do now is 5 a month. And that's 4 episodes every Sunday, and then we'll do 1 extra midweek. And that we've done just because we're so overbooked. Like, we had this recent issue. We've never had this issue before, but we were booked out for 2 months. So we had like 8 to 10 episodes in the pipeline that we needed to post. And the issue is that like the 8th episode will get dated by the time that we go live with it. So we're like, what do we do? Because the whole situation's going to change. So we have to release it early, but we already have other episodes. So we started doing 5 a month.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 a month.
So for you guys, I would say 4.
Yeah.
I would say 4 great episodes every single week, same time. We found that like
Same time. I've been saying that.
what do you guys do?
He does whenever. I post the same time Saturday at 6:30. That's when I.
And that's why your channel's growing. And that's why your channel's doing so well.
Yeah.
And that's why
I
you're
gotta do
getting
time.
100,000 plus views.
So we got to do 1 time.
Yeah.
2 videos a week. What about title, thumbnails, and then booking guests?
Yeah,
I feel like that's our bottleneck right now.
yeah, that's the hardest part is getting good guests. Because the inbound, like a lot of people say, oh, I want to come on your show. Or, hey, this new AI startup, this guy's changing the game. You're going to... We get so many of those, but nobody cares. So you have to think, like, what does the audience want to see? Even this. I'm
Wait,
worried
I
that
feel like
people
I'm doing
wouldn't
something
care
wrong
because
with
you're
this
like, I have
quest.
a podcast. This doesn't apply to me. Maybe some people watching are entertained. And maybe that's the only reason they're sticking around right now is because, like, I'm like maybe cracking a few jokes here and there. So I'm hoping that we keep the retention high. But I just think, like, what does the guest care about and what's going on right now in the world?
Yeah.
And so maybe it's real estate related.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's something stock market related. Or maybe it's like a cool money something or other. Like Chris Camillo was a big wild card for us because he had this channel called Dumb Money Live. One of my favorite channels. Like he got in the weeds with social arbitrage investing. But his channel, because they go live, doesn't get the momentum that like a posted, edited video would get. And so we had him on during a time when like Trump tariffs were kind of like spooking everybody. And we knew he would be the perfect guest. We posted him and it was one of our most viewed episodes.
Oh, wow.
And we posted him again a few months later thinking like people loved it so much. Let's do it. Did just as well. And so I think
Get
we've
ready
now had
for
him
a
on 3
quick-
times.
We
So
need to get-
finding a guest where it's like timely in the market. And then what we do when we get a backlog, if we have, let's say 6 episodes, we have one about housing that, you know, could be posted whenever. But if there's like a crazy housing stat that comes up in the news, we'll push something out and then post that instead.
So are you saying that most of what you do is news-based to catch on trends?
Trend-based, I would say. I'd say it's
Yeah.
mostly trend-based. Like we tried to get Sophie Rain on the podcast when she was spatting with the governor wannabe of Florida. He wanted to put a sin tax on OnlyFans creators. And her and him get into it on Twitter, going back and forth, racking up a ton of views. So we reached out to try to get her on the podcast at the same time that the
drama's happening.
The drama's happening. We could capitalize on that.
Yeah, so you guys
So,
are
like-
very much watching culture and what's happening and trying to capitalize on what's happening in culture.
Exactly. And 2 other examples of this. Jack introduced me to Togi, who is like the
I don't
game.
know who that is.
He's a funny guy.
Okay.
I'd never heard of him before either, but Jack was a big fan of Togi and started watching his content. Like the dude is crazy, but he's like blown up everywhere, gambling and like doing drugs
He's like
and
Steve Will-
steroids.
He's like Steve Will do its cousin.
Okay, his cousin.
Yeah, he's probably a more intense Steve will do it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
on the come up still, so he's willing to risk.
Still doing it.
Yeah.
But he's great. But we had him on at a time when he's just like making these crazy moves.
Yeah.
And so like that was a very timely episode for us. Or we had Kyle from Nelk at a time where he was having a little drama with Steve Will Do It.
Yeah.
And so we posted Kyle right after Steve Will Do It posted like this response video.
But you know, like having a guy like Kyle or any of these big guys, I mean, obviously you can time it and it's better. But like,
Use
if
your
you had him
needle
just
on
period,
each
it
of
would
your
probably
four hides
perform
and
well.
choose to
Chris
make one
Williamson
lunar
had him on
torso.
a while, I think about a year and change ago, and the episode did okay for Chris's channel. For us, our episode in the first week did more views than that did a year ago, just having him on. And some of that
One
is
lunar
trend-based.
trousers,
Like,
one
it
lunar
just
gloves,
helps.
and one
Like,
lunar boots.
objectively, people care more when they have a reason to watch someone or something.
So,
Yeah.
well, let's talk about this though, right?
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about trends and the original thing of being worth your time,
Yeah.
right? And so, for you guys, you make most of your money off AdSense and sponsors, right? So is it just like views are the end all be all to make it worth your time? Is that right?
No, because a lot of the sponsors really don't care how many views you get. I mean, obviously, if I'm getting like 10,000 views a video, the sponsors are going to come to me and say,
Yeah.
Graham, what's
Afterwards,
going on?
drop the
Let's-
needle
let's
and
talk
thread
about
as you
this.
won't
But
need it
objectively,
anymore.
Like, it doesn't benefit me for the sponsors if the video, because like some of the videos, they'll get 1 million views, but the sponsor's not paying me anymore for that. It's just a flat fee.
Yeah,
so
whatever
for
it is,
me,
it
it's
is.
really just about the better the video does, the better I feel, because it gives me the sense that I did something the audience wants to see and likes.
Yeah.
And so I base the success of the video on how many people want to watch it. And the more views it gets, the higher the retention I must have had,
Yeah.
which means people are interested in that.
But I
and
guess
that makes
for
me
y-
feel good.
For you financially,
Next,
know,
head
YouTube's been
outside
your
of the
career
shop
for the
and go
last,
to the
man,
middle
what-
of
we were
the
talking about,
city
like 10
whereby
years.
you'll
It'll be
find
10 years in
Celine.
December.
Chat to her and
Yeah.
say,
So this
I'm
is-
looking
and
for
it
a
hasn't been
ring.
that, because I think for most business guys, YouTube is not the way they make money.
Before
It is
going
just
through the rest
marketing
of the chat.
for their
Next,
businesses.
run
Whereas for you, it is how you make money. So like,
east
Yeah,
out of
don't
the
say that
city
like
and
it's a
then
good
run
thing. Don't-
southeast
you
and
know,
go
I
across the
probably really
bridge
messed
as
up
if
by
you're
not
going
having
to
some
the
sort of,
Oniro
like-
Mensa.
No, I'm not saying
Talk
you
to the
guys-
Oniro Mensa and
Yeah,
spacebar
not
through
saying
the
it's a good
chat.
thing. That's why I'm like,
Deposit
you know,
your
for me, like for example, we just interviewed this morning
coins as well as
a
any
business guy
weapons
who
and
sold,
armor
his
besides your
businesses for
lunar
over $1 billion.
equipment. But
He
make
doesn't have a
sure
social
to
media
keep wearing
following,
all
you
of
know,
your lunar
and
equipment.
So
You
people may or may not know, but for me personally, getting to build that relationship and know him and everything else, I really don't care if the performs or not.
will want to
Because
keep
the
your
byproduct
waking
of
sleep
that
file and your
relationship will be
kindling on you
significantly
as
more
well.
than a sponsor.
Mhm.
So like, at the same time, it's like goals are also different in that way. So I'm just like curious. I mean, for you, you've talked about it before in the iced coffee hour. Like, what is your plan
Additionally,
for it? Like, how
keep
much
your
does it
tinderbox,
actually bring
your
in
axe,
and like
and
making
very
it worthwhile for
a
you guys?
tiny
Because you
bit
could also just
southeast.
post on your main channel and do 3 a day or 3 a week and
I
do what
love
you used to do.
The thing with the
And for
podcast,
some
it's
lunar, or
sustainable.
you just
So I
need
could do the
one, but
podcast
you can
another 10
also
to 20
take the
years
time
and
to
not
grab
feel
3
burnt out. The main
extra
channel's a
here
bit
for the
more of a
Fremenic
grind because I gotta
Exile
sit at
quest
home
later
and, like,
on.
come up with topics and
Yeah.
think more strategic. The
Now
podcast
teleport
is so
or make your
enjoyable. I
way
mean,
back
it's like,
to
it would be,
Relica and to
imagine
the
this,
west
but,
of
like,
Luna,
this
Lunar
somehow
Helm.
work. The podcast
Pop
to me
at the back
never feels like
car,
work.
Yeah.
And any guest
Afterwards,
I have on is someone I'd
her
want
name.
to talk to genuinely. Otherwise,
Okay.
we just wouldn't have
Chat
them on.
now
Yeah.
run
So there's an
to
overlap
Facebook.
there.
Will
Yeah.
one
No,
matter
that's how I
what
feel
I
about this
got.
podcast too.
She will
Like, I
trade
just-
you the special
it-
tiara for
we
a
have
lunar
cool people
amulet.
on and I talk to them and it's like whatever. It's like just catching
Now
up
make
with a
sure
friend
you
for
have
me.
your
Yeah.
four
Like, I
sequel
could take it way
hides
more
and then
serious
run
and, like,
northeast
be
into or
intentional,
near the
and it'll
closed
do
shop.
way better.
Start by
But, like,
trading with Rimacer
I don't know.
Salas
It's a balance of like
and
all the other
purchasing
stuff
a
I have to
needle
do.
and 2
Just depends
pieces
on what
of
you want to do. If you want to
those
have
saying
conversations and it's a low key
what
sort of
the
thing,
needle
and it doesn't
and
matter
of
if
the
it gets
city
1,000 views or
before
100,
going
it
through
makes
the
no
rest of the
difference.
chat.
Right.
Then it
To
doesn't
her and
matter. Then
run
there's no
east out of Romancer,
reason to
but
change
after you
anything.
cross the
Right.
But if
bridge,
you look
change
at it strategically, if you want to reach a wider audience of people, you have to treat it differently.
Right.
So that's the only change.
your
So,
direction and run
for
west
you,
until you see some
you know, the
blue
way that,
flowers
I came
once you're
across
near
it's
by the
funny. I think I've
western
told this
edge of
story
the
before, but it's been
island.
years.
Stand on them and then
I
use
got
your
into
state
YouTube in
to
2020, and
done this
people are like, "Yeah, check out this guy
all
Graham and
to the
you know, these other guys," and I'm like, "Who are
all of
they?"
the
You know, and so
here at the bank.
I look up your channel, and that day you had posted how much you made from YouTube that like month or whatever, right? And I was like, "Oh, this is it. Like, what does he make?" And then I remember seeing it. It was like $200,000 or something. I was like, "This guy made $200,000 by himself with like no staff.
It's
no
time to do a
employees,
bit
no
of an
risk, and I'm over
inventory
here
refresh.
flipping all these
Deposit your
homes and
coins.
having all this risk and staff and like headache." I was like, "Dude, I need to like make content. Like, that's crazy that he made that from that." And then it was part of the inspiration for getting into it. But then like I slowly realized, at least for me personally, it was like, okay, if I want to make like a lot of money as a YouTuber, you do have to like chase the algorithm and like chase the news and views, because that's how you get ad revenue and that's how you get sponsors. And then like I realized like, oh, if I just make content that sells my own products, like, you know, I could make more just on the back end. And so
As
like,
well
that
as
was the
any
path
weapons
that
and armor
the last
besides
6
your
years
lunar
have really
equipment.
been,
But
where it's
make
like,
sure to keep wearing
kinda
all of your
optimize
lunar
for
equipment.
getting
You will
people who
want
would
to
be a
keep your
customer.
waking sleep bile and
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me, Alex Becker.
Yeah.
You know him?
Yep.
He made a video. I think he put my name in the title, like Graham Stephan ruined YouTube or something like this. And he said,
a funny guy.
He said in his video that he was watching my videos and the way I approach the algorithm and strategies. Like, I can't compete with Graham because this is all he's doing. And at a certain point, Graham's going to come up with the issue and the problem that you could only dance in front of the camera for so long. And you become like this dancing monkey where people are like, oh, you got to entertain me. And you got to act entertaining. And then they get used to that. And you got to like one-up it a little bit and get one-up it a little bit. And there's no
your kindling
longevity
on
in
you as
that, because
well.
eventually what'll
Additionally,
happen
keep
is
your
there'll be a new
tinderbox, your
Graham
axe,
Stephan who
and
comes up, or
very
someone who's
importantly, your
like
seal of
Caleb
passage.
Hammer is a
Ensure
great
that you
example.
have runes for
Someone new with
combat
a great
spells
format
using a
who-
lunar staff,
he's
which
pulling views that like I've never seen in the finance space before. Where all of his videos, he's posting like 3 times a week, and they're getting 500,000 to 1 million views a video. I'm like, oh man, that I think is going to replace my format.
Yeah.
And I think Caleb is going to surpass every metric that I've ever done. And
Have
so
you
I'm
seen
like,
him?
I've seen him. You just had him on, right?
Yeah.
I saw you
Yeah.
guys kind of like talking.
love Caleb.
He's funny.
And so I'd imagine Caleb Hammer after 10 years will have another so-and-so who comes up who's like, oh man, they're doing that. That's crazy. So, you know, I think in hindsight, I should have done some sort of business off the channel. But at the same time, my strength and passion was really making YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And it wasn't in running a company and managing people. Like, I don't like managing people. I don't really work that well.
Yeah.
Outside of a small group of like 2 to 3 people. Like me and Jack get along. We got some other people on the Iced Coffee Hour team. We're friends.
Are you
We
still
get along.
editing your own videos?
Yeah.
To this day.
Yeah. I mean, not the podcast.
Okay.
Not the podcast, but my
main
main channel. Yeah. But that's how I work. I work well, just kind of waking up, doing my thing. Like, when I get in the zone, it's akin to meditation. Like,
Yeah.
when you get in the zone and
there's
you
no
zone
free
out, like,
runes, and also bring along a
that's
decent
all I
amount
want.
of food,
Do you-
of
do you
which
still
I'll be
do
bringing around
videos? 'Cause like I
16
said,
summer
the first video I
pies.
saw
Also
was
in
you
that
talking
room
about how
within
much
the
you
city
made on
that has a
YouTube. And then
some
like I
soaked
remember a lot of your early videos were like your
kindling, and
personal
then you
finances and stuff.
use your tinderbox
And then like eventually it became more like
the ceremonial
news-based
break.
of, you know, that. So do you ever still do the Graham's personal finance
I
stuff?
got so tired of it, man. I got tired of it in like 2021, but people kept asking for it. I'm like, okay, well, it's a video. And when I'm doing 3 a week, it's like a video. I got so tired of it that it got to a point where I'm so fed up. I'm done with it.
Really.
I can't do it anymore.
I hate to be the guy, but
Yeah.
how much do you make from YouTube?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not.
he's like, think about it.
I'm done with that.
You could guess. You could guess. And
I say $1 million.
No, he got more than $1 million for sure.
$1 million a year?
For sure. Way more. I mean, if you count both channels.
Here's how it sounds when you find termites. And when you see the damage.
oh man.
But Terminix year-round protection sounds amazing. Book a free inspection at Terminix.com. Qualifying homes only. Terms apply.
I would
What would
get,
you guess?
well, I think at your peak, if I remember when.
No, I'm saying now.
No, I know, but I think at your peak, I remember a video saying it was like 5 million or something at the.
5 million?
That's what I think I remember. He's just stone faced. But I think maybe today it's probably 2.
I bet you if he made 5 before, I bet you he's at like 6 because of the podcast.
No.
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 Like it added. Listen, it's down a lot.
Yeah.
I say 3 to 4.
That's
it's
why I said
down.
the peak.
I say 3 to 4.
It's down a
That's
lot.
what I
He's doing a third of the videos now. He
Yeah, but he's
doesn't.
getting a lot of views.
It's down a lot, man. And you got to think taxes. Taxes.
I'm
They
talking
take
about growth.
30.
we're
They
talking-
take 37% in tax. Where does it go?
We're talking about revenue, yeah.
Where
We're
does
just
the
talking
taxes
revenue
go?
on the podcast.
Yeah.
Where does the taxes go?
But that's why you moved to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I saved the 13
Yeah, I know.
something percent.
What do you think? Okay, if you're looking to get started in real estate investing, then you need to use our Cash Flow 2.0 system. We give you all the motivated seller leads. We give you software, one-on-one coaching, and everything you need to start your real estate investing business. And we've seen so much success from our students with this system that we are willing to guarantee it. So if you want to learn how it all works and how you can get your first real estate deal today, go on over to wealthyinvestor.com and apply. Someone from our team will get with you, and you could have your first deal within a week once you get on this system. So head on over to wealthyinvestor.com and we'll see you there. California these days.
It's really, really, really bad. You got to watch the video that we just posted on the Iced Coffee Hour Clips channel. We filmed a video with this eviction attorney, and I've actually met him off Twitter, which is crazy. I follow his Twitter, and we started chatting, and I was thinking about selling my house in Santa Monica, and I was thinking about maybe do I rent it out, because I got like a 2.8% mortgage on it.
Yeah.
I bought it like pre-COVID, great price. I love the property. And I talked to him, and within like 5 minutes, I'm like, I'm selling the thing. Like, I don't want anything to do with being a landlord anymore in Los Angeles. So I'm selling everything off. I've said this so much on the channel, so people are probably tired of hearing it. But the hoops that you have to go through right now to run any sort of landlord business in LA is impossible.
You'll lose
impossible.
money.
Like, I'm even finding issues now. Like, I built out this ADU, and I thought like I got the certificate of occupancy. I thought we're all good. And I'm in the process of selling it. And it had electricity in the back because the realtor went there and was like turning on the lights. Everything worked. But I thought, okay, I never turned on the electricity for this unit. So like, why is it still on? I called them up and they said, we have no record of any electrical panel at this unit. So it must still be connected to one of the front units. It's like, why is it? You guys went out here and like signed off on it. Yeah, we don't have a record of it. So apparently LIDWP got like the request to come in and like set up the panel. Never did. And now we got to hunt that down. But it's just like, I hate the process. I hate it.
What about your like properties in like San Bernardino County and Riverside County? Are you selling those too?
Yep.
Damn it.
Everything is getting sold except for the house I live in here.
What do you think of the one in Vegas? You're talking about the one you live in now?
Yeah, I'm keeping that one. Yeah.
What do you think about real estate in general, right? Because we both started out as real estate guys, then started getting on social media and stuff. And, I mean, obviously I still do real estate. We flip and we wholesale, but like, I mean, I'm not trying to build a big rental portfolio. I'm not like trying to like, I guess, grow my real estate side. Where are you at with it all?
I think it's a lifestyle purchase these days. Like pre-2020, I could look at the price to rent a house and the price to buy, and I'm like, all right, well, if I put down the 20% down payment, my cost is going to be a little more advantageous to buy, and you get the upside. And it made sense.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden things flipped, and I'm like, it's cheaper to rent.
Yep.
And so the only reason to buy now is if you know you're going to stay there like 10 plus years, or it's a lifestyle thing where you just don't care and you don't have a landlord. You don't want to have to move out after a few years if they want to move back in or they don't want you to leave. Having control over it. So I just think if you view it from that lens, it makes sense. But it's not a financially good choice anymore.
I disagree.
Why?
Like, you think it's better? I think it's better to buy a house, stay in it, get the equity, and then at least that way you've put the rent that you're paying towards every month towards a savings.
No, because when you buy,
yes,
let's just say your payment's going to be $5,000 a month, but you could rent an identical house right now for $2,800 a month, and then that delta, you could just throw that into the stock market. You could throw that into a savings. You throw that anywhere, and that savings is going to grow more than spending money on the mortgage. Because when you look at your housing expense, it's like mortgage interest. Imagine you get a loan at 6%. My gosh, that's when you look at what you could spend in rent instead, the 6% is too high. Property taxes, they might be pretty good here in Vegas, but then you have insurance, repairs. One water heater blows out, Mike, $2,500. I just had to fix an AC condenser. It was 1 month beyond its warranty. $3,000. It's like, yeah, if I was a tenant, I'd be calling up the landlord, and it's their problem.
I get that, but I think you're talking about like Los Angeles.
No, I'm talking about Vegas. I have buddies who want to buy, and I get so heated over this because they show me these houses for $700,000. I say, why would you want to move when your rent is $2,500 a month, and you're basically getting a slightly better house that's going to cost you $6,000 a month, and it's slightly better. Why would you? And I walked through the math on this. I'm like, to make that house make sense, you got to buy this at like 500 grand. So if you get the house at 500, by all means, if it balances out, great. Put in a little premium for owning, so it's yours. Fine. But when you look at the numbers side by side, just renting makes so much more sense. Unless you're going to stay there for like 10 plus years. In which case,
5 years.
no.
What about the appreciation?
No, look, how much appreciation do you think we're going to see? Right now,
How much have we seen?
Right now, I'm seeing places in Vegas sell for the same price that they were selling for in 2014. And now I'm talking about the high-end market. Now I'm talking usually above $3 million, which okay, fine, doesn't apply to a lot of people watching, but I'm still saying. I look at Southern Highlands, and these properties are selling for 2015 prices. They made no money in 10 years. Now, the property values did go up, and they're back down. So there was a point there where they could have sold and made they could have doubled their money. And so, I think like 20 years, you're probably going to make money on that.
What about 5 years?
I live in Southern Highlands, dude.
What about five?
I think 5
about this too.
I think 5 years is too risky. I think.
But
listen, I think
the
it's
last 5 years, Graham.
I would
the last 5 years, people have made money in real estate.
What's your house worth now?
I would be more confident that you'd make more money in the stock market over 5 years than more money in the housing market over 5 years.
Okay,
when
which
you
one have
account
you?
for your
In your
expenses, property taxes, insurance, repairs, mortgage interest, I think you'll outperform in the stock market.
Let's talk
5 years.
Let's say your portfolio in the last 5 years, stocks versus your real estate.
I've done a video on this.
Which one made more?
Stocks by far. By a ton, a crap ton. I have a whole video breaking down the last 5 years of
more was
returns.
it?
I don't know the exact return offhand, but it was like 3 times more money in the stock market than housing, and that was even with me being leveraged.
Yeah,
that was
stocks have vastly outperformed the last 5 years.
Reminder, the stunts in this movie were performed by professionals.
Hi, I'm Wee Man. I'm Bam Margera. I'm Preston Lacey. I'm Chris Pontius.
So for your safety and the protection of those around you,
I'm Dave England. I'm Danger Aaron. I'm Steve. I'm Ryan Dunn.
do not attempt any of the stunts you have just seen.
Hello, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Hello, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Hello, I'm Johnny Knoxville.
You got to get into stocks. If I remember correctly, your portfolio was too real estate. You're too focused on real estate, and you're focused on here. Where meanwhile over here is like, it's doing really well.
But how do people know what stocks to buy?
You don't. You just index fund it. I just index fund it. Like my international stocks year over year are up 40%. Crazy.
Real estate's not up 40%.
Yeah, but you get the appreciation, the tax.
The only beauty of real estate is that you can buy a good deal, right? Because you could, if you're experienced like us and you actually like look for deals every day, you could go buy a property that you're walking into 100,000 of equity.
That is true.
That's the only way that it's better.
That is true. I will say, I think whoever bought Floyd Mayweather's house walked into a decent amount of equity. And I heard, even though it needs a lot of work, they paid like $6.6 million for the house.
Yep. I drive by it every day.
That's wild.
That's Southern Highlands.
Oh, is it?
That's a hell of a good deal.
It's right there on hole 13.
They'll make money on that house. I think they walked into probably $500,000 back. Who bought it?
I mean, just a normal guy.
What do you mean, just a normal guy?
Well, like just a guy at the country club.
Just a dude?
Well, everyone at the country club's rich. It's not like a social media guy that everyone would know. It's just a normal business guy.
What is he doing with the house?
He's gonna live in it.
I think
isn't that what people do with houses?
Well, listen, I thought he might fix it up
and flip it,
and maybe try to
flip it.
No, people aren't luxury flipping. So like what I've seen in the ultra luxury market, because that's not even ultra luxury, is if you're buying like a $7 million home, even if you're going to renovate it, you're going to live in it. You're not like flipping those. The people who are trying to like build things to flip are spec homes. So like even in Southern Highlands right now, there's a bunch of spec homes that are coming up, and they're $1,000 a foot basically, and they're probably in them for $600 a foot, from new construction up.
Yeah. Really, where I see the value today in real estate is to see these properties that are listed way too high, and you could tell because they bought it in 2022, and then they bought it for like $700,000, and then they relisted it $2 million. And I'm like, come on! They did like minimal work to it. It's crazy. And I think at some point they're going to come to the realization they're not going to make any money on it, and you'd be able to swoop in, lowball them at a price where they, could break even just to get out of the thing. And I think maybe there's some potential there.
Yeah. Why are you trying to move? Why are you looking at Southern Highlands?
I look every day at the market, dude. Every day.
Just for fun?
It's a real estate. You know, it's so funny when we bought the house in Los Angeles. Macy and I moved into it, and the next day I was looking at other properties, and she's like, "Why are you looking? We just got that. Like, you just got to see what's out there. It's like it's always like
You're just a real estate guy at heart.
Yeah. It's like as an agent, I want to
selling
see
everything. And
Yeah.
He's like, I hate you, but I'll watch.
Yeah, no, I check the market every single day. I see every property that comes on the market, and then what I do is once a week, I
You just check for fun because you're not doing anything.
He goes
I see
houses and just walks around.
It's funny, I do.
Yeah, I bet.
I walk in and I always feel bad because they want to treat you as a buyer in the show.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, listen, I'm going to waste your time. I'm a looky-loo. I just want to see the house.
They're like, no, sign in. I know who you are.
Yeah. but I make it clear, like, I'm not here to buy. I just want to see the house and see what's on the market because I'm curious. But I see everything that comes on the market, everything that sells, and I've been doing it every day since like 2008. I want to see what's on the market.
Yeah.
And so when I buy a property too, I want to see, did I get a good deal?
Yeah.
Did a better property come up like the next week that I just didn't see?
Buyer's remorse.
Do you think it's
Or I feel really good of like, oh, that property sold for more. This is great for me.
Do you think it's better to buy a new build right now or a resale?
Resell. The new builds are interesting because some of the builders are giving these crazy good incentives.
Yeah.
So I would say it can make sense, but I am finding better deals with resells, primarily from people who have lived there a few years and just downsizing, they're upgrading to something else. They just want to move on from it.
Yeah. You were talking about real estate being a lifestyle choice at this point, right? It just financially kind of doesn't make as much sense. If you're going to own, like, you know, when we're flipping and wholesaling, that's a different thing. But like, you know, your lifestyle has changed a lot. You're married now. You seem to be like enjoying life more. Like you used to just be cheap and wanting to work 80 hours a week, and now you're like spending some
now I'm cheap and working 80 hours a week
with a wife. You do seem different though. Like you're starting to enjoy life more than before.
Yeah, I will say this 2 years ago, I'd never be here Friday at 3:55 2 years ago. Just couldn't do it.
Why?
So how am I
Because I was
supposed
so busy.
to?
It's like the opportunity cost of me leaving before 7 p.m. to do anything on a weekday is so high because right now, I guarantee what I would have done is I posted my Friday video at 3:30, and right now I'd be monitoring comments and checking the algorithm to see how it's performing, changing title, thumbnail, and then right after that, the first thing I have to do is what's the Monday topic, and so I'd spend the rest of Friday coming up with an outline for what I'm talking about on Monday.
Yeah.
And then Saturday would be planning it out, maybe filming. Sunday, I just edit, and then Monday I post.
Dang.
So it's like I wouldn't have time to do something like this. I just couldn't. I just had to be heads down focused.
And what changed?
I started posting once a week. Because I knew that was unsustainable. Like I always knew going into it, I can't post 3 times a week forever. I just can't.
Yeah.
And so I started posting 2 times a week, and then it gave me a lot of anxiety at
What am I
first because I'm
supposed to do?
pressing an upload, like everything's gonna crash. I can't believe it. And then nothing happened. And then surprisingly, the average views per video went up when I was doing 2 times a week. And I was like, oh, it's not that bad. Let me go down to once a week. And I did once a week. And when I went to once a week, I spent more time on the podcast. And then the podcast started doing better.
Yeah.
So I kind of took from there to give to the podcast.
Yeah.
Right now I found
Didn't
a
I
good balance
just
between them where I can
do
still
all
have
of
a little
it?
flexibility, but I'm still like always in my head, like what's the next video topic?
So how's it been with being married?
Great.
Any changes?
Vacations, man. We've been doing the vacations. We've been to Japan 3 times the last year and a half. Where did we go recently?
You're a
We went
world
to New
traveler.
York.
Dude, what the hell?
We did New York, Korea. We did London, Switzerland,
Wow.
which I got to tour the Zenith factory in Switzerland, which was really cool. Yeah, just seeing, I'm able to take like a week
That
off
freaking
every now and
sucks,
How
dude.
much
Yeah.
are you
Do you feel
spending on-
guilty when you take the week off?
No, I don't, only because I work so hard to get ahead for that week, so that by the time I take the week off, I have like the next week and a half of content built out. But the only issue with that is that like when I have a vacation day, let's just say it's May 1st, I'll work so hard because I have that date. And then by April 29th, I'm so like in the grind mode where my efficiency is like 2x, what it normally is because I'm so like
Come
heads
in
down
again
focused.
and
You get that
skip through the
momentum going.
dialogue. Now
And
go
all
and
of a
step
sudden,
on
it's
the
like everything's on
northwestern
easy
platform,
mode.
and when you
Where I'm
make
like
it
able to do this and
the
do
next
that. I'm able to
stage,
get
go
like
onto
twice the
camera
work
to
done.
face never
But then I go on
change, but
vacation and
stepping
it
on the
sets you
wrong
back.
path
And by
will
the time I
see you
get
fall
back, it's like
through. So
a
it's
ramp
kind of
up.
like a memory
Because you don't
game
build
to
up
get
that
to
speed.
the
So
other
the
side.
only
I'll
issue with
pop a
that is
grid
when I
up
have
on
that
screen
deadline,
that you
it's
can
like I become
screenshot,
so
and then
productive.
in
Yeah.
Paint or using
Just
the
because I
edit
have that
tool.
gap.
Give them the
What
1
you
out of
want to
10.
do is just mark
Then
in
you
which
get a
of the
10 out of
tiles
10 when you go on vacation.
It is. It's like yeah,
Restarts.
but to your question, I use a lot of credit card points.
So it's free.
I wouldn't say it's free, but it's
There you
definitely a
go.
diminished price.
the correct
how much
once
would
you
you say
step on
your
them.
average
The
vacation is?
animations here are rather long, so it can take a while to find your way through to the end.
With flights
but at
and
least by keeping
everything,
track
probably like
your
5 to
steps, you
10 grand.
That's
And
a
that's
lot. I thought it was gonna be less.
no, because
You go
we-
first class to Japan?
no, premium economy. But
There we
Zip
go.
Air offers lie flat seats, depending on when you go, for like $1,200 a ticket.
Got
But
it.
keep in mind that's also for Macy and I. And when we're on the vacation, it's usually I try not to be like, oh, that's too expensive. I try like it's still intrinsically me to like look at the menu and be like, well, that's not worth that when the place across the street is half there. But let's go to that. So I try not to do that. But I've been getting better.
That's good.
Yeah.
And with that, like, what do you think like your future is going to be? We were talking about it of like, the main channel, clearly you started to feel some fatigue.
Yeah.
You enjoy the podcast.
Love the
like,
podcast.
What do you got? 5 million subscribers on the main channel.
Mhm.
So it's like, do you ever see yourself leaving YouTube or leaving the main channel?
Probably not.
can't
I'll
really
post
go
less.
too wrong.
It seems
and
like what people
eventually
do
you'll
is
be
they'll
able
just slowly fade into irrelevance. And it's just like you post once a week and it's like, oh, I'm going to miss a week. And then it's like every other week. Oh, I miss it every other week. Oh, once a month. And it's just, you slowly get down to a baseline where you could post like every now and then when there's something to say. And the core audience will tune in, they'll be curious, but you're not maximizing for growth anymore.
So you think that that's what will eventually happen one day?
Probably. And as that happens, I shift more and more of my attention on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why have you liked the podcast more?
It's so much fun. Like,
I'm just gonna
imagine you
keep
just hang out
going.
with your buddies all day.
Just make
The
it easier for
research
me.
is getting to go to the gym,
it's not.
listening to a podcast. Like, that's work. And I get to write down questions I'm curious about for someone who's like, I'd never ordinarily get to meet these people, but like, they'll come on the podcast, which is really cool.
Who've been your top 3 most enjoyable?
Kevin O'Leary has always been like my top, because as a kid, like I'd watch Shark Tank.
Yeah.
And I remember being like 18 years old watching Shark Tank. So to be able to like talk to Kevin O'Leary is insane to do that. But you also just get to meet just really neat people from it. Like Andrew Yang is another one that's like, I remember when he was running and UBI and me being fascinated by like, I can't believe that would even be a conversation starter, but it's really interesting. And then to be able to like talk to Andrew Yang, it's like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah. Do you
Who
think
books your podcast?
We do. It's a lot
Dude,
of DMs.
if you guys,
It's a
I
lot
see
of me
that
just
there's
DMing
2
people
viewers.
and,
what's your cold outreach? Want to come on the show?
Tell me
No,
which
usually I'll
to
do like
hop on. I want to see if you guys can actually help
send
me
him a
out.
photo. I can make him
I see
open
2
it really
viewers.
late at night.
Just out of
Check
curiosity,
this out.
should I choose this one or that one?
And then it's
Wait.
in parentheses, don't open in public.
Yeah. Which one should I
That
choose?
might actually work.
That?
Yeah, well,
This?
which is so funny.
Go up
no,
or
usually I'll
right?
send a really detailed, curated message like, "Hey, I enjoyed your," and like I actually do a lot of research on like even just cold outreach. I'm probably putting in like 30 minutes into like
You'll watch something.
yeah, and I say, "Hey, I really enjoyed
I'll give you
this," or
5
you said
seconds to
this.
reply. 5,
Um,
4, 3,
I would
2.
love to have you on my podcast
Okay.
to talk about X, Y, Z. If they're promoting something or they have something coming out, I say this would also be a great opportunity to talk about this thing that you're doing here. And then I pick similar guests.
Wait.
So like we were pitching Mark Cuban recently.
Oh
and
my
so I
God.
said, well, we've
So
had Kevin O'Leary
here.
on. We've had Barbara Corcoran on. We
Damn,
just
that's
had
horrible.
Andrew Yang on. We know you've been working with him. Like
Use
we'd
the
love
credibility. Yep.
That's
exactly.
horrible.
Or if we have an actor on, we'll say like, oh, we had RJ Mitty on, we had E.G. Daly, we'd have Devin Werkheiser. Like we've had these other people on that kind of fit into that space, so they don't feel like it's just like out of the blue. Because if they see it and they see like they're an actor, but you've had on like Ben Shapiro and like Ben Mala, they'll be like,
Yo,
"Who are
Ben
these people?"
Shapiro.
So we try to make it relevant, and then I'll always
It's
leave
something
myself
else.
a number, which I think is really important in an Instagram DM.
Okay.
Because when I get DMs
I want to go up.
from big accounts, it's always like the representative. Like it's never actually.
Let's go.
It's
I
actually
want to
me
go
on my
up again.
phone,
Come on, come on,
and
come on,
I'm
come on,
writing it
come on, come on.
personally. It's not someone
Let's
else doing it
go.
on my behalf.
I want to
and I'm
go
like,
up one
"Here's
more
my
time.
info, text if easier."
Come on, come on,
and
come
they
on.
can
Make it
shoot a
easier for me.
text.
Yeah. That's smart.
Kevin,
Yeah.
like when you have guests, do you ask them for other people? Like when you had Kevin, couldn't you have just asked them for Mark's information or to connect you?
We try to, but we also want to be respectful. It really just depends on like how it feels in the moment. Andrew Yang, we were talking about our dream because he asked us about our dream guests, and we said Gavin Newsom,
Oh my gosh.
Bernie Sanders, and Nancy Pelosi.
Oh boy.
Which, like, if we could get any one of those, oh my gosh! And he's like, "Oh, Gavin, yeah, like, I could try to put you in touch with him." And it'd be like, that would be amazing. He's like, "Yeah, I would love to see you. You post this episode first, and then I could show him this episode to try to get him on." I would love to get Gavin Newsom.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like, he'd be one of the top guests to have. Not even as like a contentious sort of thing, but like I would genuinely love to talk. I think he's a very charismatic guy, and I would love to have him on.
You just ask for permits. You're like, guy.
Please.
So I'm
LADWE,
gonna try to make it
it's
easier
really-
for
that's why
myself.
everything else right
If
now.
it's this,
If
that
I
means
get
I
the
could just
certificate
go
of
up
occupancy,
and we're
just-
golden. No, we're not.
Please help me.
Oh my god.
Please.
I gotta go all the way up the chain.
Yeah, all the way to the top.
Dude, that would be awesome if he has a power just to sign something
Come
over his
on.
I'll call my lady.
Yeah, I'd be like, all right,
This is costing me like a few $1,000 every month. Like, please.
like you don't get it, man. Like, too high level. You got to see what's going down.
Yeah, like I know you got
Yeah.
the Palisades and like homelessness and
Yeah,
like
but this permit, man, is really a pain in my ass. But no, we would love to have those guests on. Like,
Yeah.
love Bernie Sanders especially. I would love to have him on.
you want
Hey,
Nancy
Siri.
Pelosi's picks.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I would love to
Set
see-
alarms
she-
for
okay,
14
I would
minutes.
even have Nancy Pelosi on, even if she says we cannot talk about investing at all. That's off the. I'd still talk. I'd still love to meet her and talk to her.
How
How
much
do you
of
make
your,
income?
How much of your guests have like those kind of like, hey, we will not talk about XYZ?
Very few.
Yeah.
It's unusual that a guest will ever say, "Hey, we can't talk about XYZ." It's very unusual. It happens occasionally, but it's really not the norm,
Okay.
and we try to respect it.
Come on.
Right.
Come on.
We're gonna still
Let that
push
be
back
it.
on
Let
certain
that be
things,
it.
but
Let that be it.
Truly, if a guest
Let's
is like,
go.
I don't want to talk, we're gonna 100% respect it.
Let's
Even sometimes after the
go.
fact, we'll film the whole thing, and they'll say, "Hey, by the way, I said this and this. Would you please consider removing it?" And absolutely, like, I'm not here to like put someone on the spot or make an enemy or like try to make someone look bad. It's like, I just want a fun conversation. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's really rare, and I would say it does not happen frequently. It's very, very unusual when it does happen.
How was Charlie Kirk when you had him on the podcast?
Such a nice guy. Such a nice guy. He had a really big operation. Like, I was surprised when we got to, like, he had like all these buildings and facilities, and it was crazy to walk down and be like, oh, this is his, like, way bigger team than you would expect. And then when we did the podcast, so we came to him, his team was like so sharp. Like, everything was so well curated. We got like the star treatment.
Who had like the coolest HQ that you went to?
It's hard to beat Alex Ramosi, to be honest. But that might just be in terms of size, because it's so massive, and he's got the gym, which is like really impressive. With Alex Ramosi, was great. He has like protein bars everywhere, and protein shakes everywhere. So that's something you actually need to get, because
Yeah.
everywhere I go, there's like these Built bars.
Okay.
And so you walk in, you can be like, grab a Built bar, and then it's like, oh, they got these like pure protein, but it's like the 42, what is it, the premier protein or whatever it is, like
So
the 42
I have
gram
to
one, like the
do
really
this?
expensive one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh shit, this is really nice.
Did you
So-
grab one?
I did. I did. Yeah, I feel that was my lunch, was protein.
Okay.
I love it. But his was probably the most impressive.
Okay. Who else have you been to that was cool?
Michael Saylor was
Oh,
really
am I
neat.
supposed
He
to
was,
drop
he
as
was
many?
a wild card because we showed up at his house, and it was
I'm confused.
gorgeous. I mean, very few places I've been to where I'm like blown away.
Where does he live at?
And this was on the East Coast.
Form, whereby you'll be
And he was
teleported to a
showing us,
small
like,
space with a
what was
bunch
most
of
surprising
floating
about him
numbers.
is that he shows
Talk
his
to the
garden,
ethereal number
and
radar
you would
who
have
will
no
pump
idea
out
that
a
he
heap
has
of
one of
random
the
numbers,
best
and
gardens
after
I've
the
seen.
chat is done,
Like,
a
every
sequence
plant
will appear in your
imaginable, but
chat
it's so
box.
well
You'll be given
taken
some
care of.
numbers
He's
that
showing us
form
his
part of a
birds,
sequence,
and
and you
he
will
would have
then
birds
need
that
to select
nest
the
on
next.
property, and he has little cameras in the nest.
Yeah.
So you could see the birds as
Am I
like, they're
supposed to
hatching.
be
And what
dropping
was really
them?
funny is that he had
Oh,
all these
wow.
security cameras, but mixed in with the security cameras were the birds. And so you have like the front of the house, and then next to it you see like a bird's nest, and the bird is like feeding its babies. It was just really neat, and like, he has a genuine passion for nature.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What about Dave Ramsey?
Yeah, oh, you know what? Yes, I would say in terms of operation, he has the most efficient operation I've seen. I've never been to a place where every one of his employees is like unified on the same goal,
Oh,
with
I
the same
see.
path, and they all seemed excited to be there. And it seems like he only hires people who really want to work there and show up every day with passion. Like
Yeah,
everyone
his
I met
operation
is just like
massive.
is interested in working there. And what I really liked is that Dave Ramsey had lunch with us, just with everyone else. Like everyone was having lunch at 12, and he's in line with everyone else. Like he doesn't skip the line. He's not like, hey man, could you bring me a burger? He's standing in line with it. Like there's like 10 people in front, and he's just waiting there. Everyone else sits down at the table. It's like me, George Camel, Dave Ramsey, Jack, like a few other people with us, and just eating lunch. And it's just it's neat to see how in the weeds he is. He's just like any one of the employees. Like you could tell he really lives what he preaches.
Yeah, I mean, to do it for that long. I mean, that's a good model for you of a guy who's been doing the media thing for 30, 40 years, dude. It's a long time.
Yeah, but he's got all these like back end products, like educational things, books. So it's like I don't know how much of it is just the media side of things versus like everything else.
Yeah, the media is the marketing
It is.
for. I mean, they're doing hundreds of millions a year.
Yeah,
and all the other stuff. What do you think, like for you, anyways? I think personal finance used to be a big one for you, but it seems like now it's less and less of a thing.
There's only so much you could say, which is the unfortunate. That's why I pivoted to news based, because if there's something newsy, it's breaking, it's relevant,
always
it's
new.
something different. Personal finance, I could only say Roth IRA, index funds, dollar cost average, save as much money as possible, live below your like the basics you could say in a 10-minute video, and it's done, and that's it.
Ramsey said it for 40 years straight.
Yeah, but he does phone calls where people will call in, and every situation is he does the podcast format in a way.
I'm so
but he's
confused why
doing
I'm
like
supposed to
5
be doing
episodes a
all
day
this.
when people call in.
Isn't that what kind of that guy Caleb Hammer does?
He has people in person.
Yeah.
I pitched Ryan on doing a show called Broken Business, where we bring in business owners and we try to like help fix their business. And then like in like 30 or 90 days, we show a recap of like
Too
what
much
happened.
work. I mean, listen, I'm not saying it wouldn't do well. I've looked into those ideas before. It's so much work to be able to do it that unless you have massive marketing funnels in it, it's tough to want to put the time into that because of how much it takes. Like I used to do these videos that did really well. It was what did it call? Undercover Millionaire is what I called the series, and it was my take on dirty jobs, where I would find these people making like $1,000+ a day, doing careers that you would never expect, like washing cars, washing windows, being a sushi chef, dog walking, things like this. And then I would go and do their job for a day while sitting down and interviewing them. And people loved the videos, but the amount of time I spent making one of those videos was like a week.
I think I'm
And there
almost
was
done with the
travel
quest.
involved for these videos. A lot of it was very curated on the spot. I spent days at it. I mean, I probably put 2 weeks of work into one video.
But what about like doing it like Ramsey or Caleb, where it's just interviews?
Oh.
Yeah, we bring them in and they just
It's not
explain
like
everything.
vlog style, you know, where you're out in the field.
You'll be teleported.
You have to do it to such an extreme that it's going to be tough. 'Cause
Me only
here's the
attacks with
risk.
melee while also teleporting
someone
you and themselves
whose
around the
business is
room.
failing,
Provided
they're
that you're
bad
attacking
on
with
camera,
magic, you
and
can
they're just
pretty
boring.
easily keep your
Yeah.
distance from him and
Here
use the
goes your
gaps in the
episode.
floor
I'm
to
just
help
saying, like,
safe
not
spot
so
the
you can
fight.
help
But
them.
really,
Yeah, yeah.
he has very low health
But
and
from a
isn't all too
performance
hard to defeat in
standpoint,
the
and I view
slightest.
all of this
So
just from the algorithm standpoint.
Oh, he's done.
It's going to underperform, tank the channel.
That's it.
Subsequent episodes are not going to do that well. Sure, you could just film a whole bunch and just post the best ones, but what Caleb seems to curate really interesting people who are visually just like a wild card on camera. Like you see some chick, purple hair,
Hell yeah.
nose ring, you know, and she's like just smoking meth. The dude she's with is a deadbeat, plays video games all day.
I've never watched this show.
But he's cheating on her, but then she's in love with his dad, and their finances are in the dumpster. But like that's interesting. Like even if they're bad on camera,
that's it.
that is objectively interesting.
Well, he probably has a team interview of like, oh yeah, this chick is like, this is gonna be a
They
good
go by the
episode.
stratosphere looking for people.
Yeah, they're screening. Because my understanding, they get. I think he told me like 100. It was like 100 requests a day to come on the show.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like
it's like Jerry Springer
Yeah.
for finance. I mean, that's what it sounds like.
in my opinion, entertainment first, finance second. But that's how I approached it too. It has to be entertainment first.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no one's gonna watch and listen. So you like entertainment's kind of like the bait. If you're catching a fish, like they catch the fish, you want to. There has to be an entertainment value for people to even be interested in what you have to
Even
offer.
Ramsey's is entertainment.
100%.
Yeah.
So he goes to the extreme of the entertainment with finance mixed in, and every episode you could learn something from it. So every episode there's something like they're spending money on this, or you could do this, and being entertaining like that, you could just keep watching the episodes. So he's got an app. It's called the DollarWise app.
Wow,
That's like
there
this
we go.
all-in-one budgeting tool. So he has that he could do like in addition to everything else, and I think he also has like educational programs.
Got it.
So he's like doing what Dave Ramsey's doing, but in my opinion,
So
for like a younger
crafting
audience.
guy.
Actually.
Yeah. So he's taken that format, but just made it new.
Yeah. And then guys like Grant, Hormozy, even
Not
myself,
bad.
and everyone are just doing like the business guru stuff. Whereas Dave and him are focused on like everyday, just personal finance.